Oh, hi there. Welcome to Coding After 30. In this video, we're going to talk about how can you become a better programmer. Yes, you can become a better programmer, but it's hard. But until then, let's get a sip of our coffee before we get started. Mm, so good. By the way, did you know that coffee dehydrates you? That's why I infused it with smart water. So now not only can I drink my coffee, I don't have to worry about being dehydrated because this got electrolytes. Anyway, welcome to the show. In this video, we're going to talk about actual tips of what's the next step after you've done a bunch of tutorials of how to become a better programmer. So the key to becoming a better programmer is actually, part of it is being able to write your own code, but another part is actually looking at examples of somebody else's written code and being able to make it work or at least figure out what's going on. Now, you can't get that out of following tutorials, but the best place for you guys to do it is actually by reading. The reason why this is better, because imagine last time when you did a tutorial, let's say it's a Udemy tutorial, before you even know you have an issue, or when you start learning the tutorial, you're watching the video, like it's 10-minute video, 20-minute video, probably like this one, but it takes a while to get going, and then you have to kind of search to figure out which part you want to review, what part you watched already. So watching tutorials is actually not the best use of your time unless you're just starting out. Then it's perfect. Now if you've done a bunch of tutorials, you know the basic JavaScript, whatever, React, whatever language that you're learning, the best place to do it is to actually look it up. There are sites like Stack Overflow, there are sites like Google, of course. Just search Google, and that's exactly what I did. I searched Google for something specific that I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn how to make a timer, and I wanted to make a custom hook using React. And guess what? The best website ever popped up, Medium. Medium is a great website. I'll jump on the computer to show it to you in a second, because it allows you to quickly see the code that you were searching for, or a solution that somebody else solved already, and you could review it. And what's cool, it's much faster, right? I don't have to watch a 10-minute video just to get to the meaty part. I just type, search, and then jump in, and all of a sudden, boom, the article's right there. The benefits of that is you get to see the code right there, and you start practicing reading code. And if you're looking at the code and you're not sure what those components are doing, or you're not sure, you're not able to follow the code, that means you have to go back to some of those basic fundamental video tutorials like JavaScript, if that's the language you're learning, and do that course again, or learn more of fundamental JavaScript. But when you look at the Medium article and you see the code and you kind of understand what it's doing, you're able to follow the logic, that's when you're gonna benefit from those articles the best. I lost myself. Let me jump back here. So move the mic, move the thing, talking to the microphone so people. Okay, so the point is that when learning to code, it's not just doing tutorials after tutorials, because eventually you're going to get to the point where, number one, every next new tutorial you watch, 80% of the stuff you're going to know. So this is where building projects becomes important. Also, on top of building projects, the another fastest way to learn to code is doing exactly what I did, is looking up and checking out Medium articles and looking through the code, making sure you can understand it, and then try the code in your tutorial. So I'm constantly trying to figure out what to do for this live stream that eventually is going to happen. Right now it's all recorded because I do want to interact both ways. My internet is slow. I got to figure that out. Anyway, all this stuff going out. But I was like, you know what? Everybody has access to a computer. Everybody has access to Medium article that they could search. And so I figured you guys could either send me requests of walking through some of the code you find online from a Medium article. You could actually go below in the comments and put some links down, or some of the things that you saw that you want more explanation or someone to go over with, and I could make those videos. And if this is going to be live, this is going to be even better. But also, I'm going to do the same thing. Of course, I'm going to, tag the people that wrote the article. I'm going to make sure they get all the credit, and I'm going to reach out to them, tell them that that's what I'm doing, putting their article on video. And if they're not happy with it, then I'll take it off, whatever. But how would you not be happy? You're helping to reach more people with the awesome solution you made. But the point is, you need to practice, you need to code, and coding is hard. It's nothing easy about coding. It just isn't. Whoever told you coding is easy is because they're super smart, they're genius, they're smarter than I am. And so the fact is, most of us, we're kind of smart, and so we need to practice and put in the time. So this is the best way to do it. So if you haven't started looking and reading Medium articles, then you're probably not a programmer yet, right? Because every programmer will tell you once you understand the language, you're not watching tutorials, maybe once in a while. You're actually reading the documentation, you're going to Stack Overflow, and you're reading articles from places like Medium. Now, I am not going to do a shameless plug, but I will mention it because this will help you keep me accountable. I want to start a blog where I write about stuff. So I have a blog that I started. It really only has maybe one article here, and let me jump into the computer so I could show it to you. Would you know it's coding after 30? Well, it's coding 30 because I figured writing coding after 30 would be too long. So this is an article, this is a blog I have. Now there's two reasons I want to mention this. This is the second part of getting better at coding. Number one is reading other people's article, understanding the code. Number two is actually when you learn something cool or not so cool, or you build something, is you write an article about. Writing an article about something that you're doing will actually help you think through the code. And a cool way to do it is like I did here, if my internet ever loads, is that I created the simple form with React. You could read this article and see like, oh, how did he do it? Oh my God, this is so cool. And then you could actually try the code out, blah, 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 submit. Okay, great, form got submitted. And you could see the code here. And then I walk you through kind of like how to break things down into a component and how to create all these different components individually, and then how to put everything together to make it work. Yes, I'm scrolling fast because this is irrelevant at this point, because the point is that it's not the content of this article for you right now, but this idea that if you're learning to code, you want to build some authority in code, the best way to practice coding on top of sitting in front of a computer practicing is actually writing code and writing articles about cool things you built. This is a great way for you guys to show that you're active in the community and not just passively learning. Another thing I wanted to show you, I want to show you here, like when you're coding stuff, you should build cool stuff for yourself. So this is a Coursera app that I put on hold. It's kind of neat. You're able, the eventual goal is you'll be able to add videos to here. You could watch videos that I watch. The coolest part, blog doesn't work, don't even bother clicking here. The coolest part is the links. Why? Because it allows me to add links to share with you guys. And you know, if you're kind of wondering, cool, like the things that I checked out, go to Coursera, hit links, and you will see some of the resources that I use. And eventually you guys will be able to add your own resources. So this is, I just want to shamelessly plug in another bad project that I'm doing. And this brings me to the third point, right? The third point. So point number one, read. Let me jump back here, back to the bigger camera because it's awesome, right? So point number one is that, number one, it took forever to get here. Number one is that you want to, after you learn the basics of a language, is actually learn to read other people's code, type it, and make it work for yourself. So going on places like Medium and seeing what people are doing it and incorporating that code, not by copy and pasting it, read it, understand it, and then apply to what you're doing. Now, if that code doesn't make sense to you, go back to your tutorials from Udemy and do those again. You need to understand the fundamentals, like yes, trust it not. But once you understand fundamentals, stop doing tutorials for that course. So once you do one HTML, once you do one HTML, CSS, once you do one JavaScript course, once you do one React course, then you should be building small, big projects, whatever for now, and reading other people's code and making it work. Number two was, even if you don't have time, at least go through the exercise of taking something you built, breaking it down, and trying to teach it to somebody else. Explain it to them. It could be in the article form, it could be in a video form, it could be teaching your little 4-year-old sister how to use and create, you know, custom hooks in React, whatever it is. But practice teaching these things to somebody else. This is the whole point of this YouTube channel. I am very selfish. I don't want to create this content for you guys. I want to create this content so I practice getting better at teaching, so then I could be a better teacher, and it's also going to make me a better programmer because I'm constantly talking about coding. And number three, third tip, I probably should have done these in this order faster, but if you made it this far, congratulations. Number three is, once you're able to do that, number three, what is number three? I forgot what number three is. Let me have some of this awesome coffee to remind myself. Oh, I'm scratching your ear while sipping coffee. And number three, I showed you this failed project that I was doing. CourseShare, it's not failed because I'm going to finish it, but I started with too many projects. Guys, please don't do too many projects at once. I started doing too many projects and none of them were finished. So right now I have this hard rule. You have one project that you work at a time. That's it. Do not do anything else until you finish it. Obviously, because I work, I have one project that I have to focus on work. I have one personal project, which is at this time, the bug tracker. That's what I'm working on. And the third work project I'm working on a team with a friend. We're doing a time tracker. That one actually takes most of the priorities because other people count on me. And that's already too much. So when you're starting out, make sure that you only do one project at a time from start to finish. We could talk about it more, but that's the point. So number one, learn to read other people's code. Start reading a lot of Medium articles. If they don't make sense to you, learn the fundamentals first, okay? Number two, try writing your own article. Try talking, explaining things that you learned to somebody else. Best way to learn to code. And number three, don't take on more than you could chew. Start with one project and do that. Man, I made it to the end of this video. Not perfect. I could have done better, but I want to thank you guys for everything that you guys do. I really appreciate. I get a lot of good comments. Sometimes some of you guys email me and tell me that the stuff that I'm putting out is actually helping you guys. And to me, that makes me feel so good. I can't even, like, I'm probably gonna cry for real. Like, I'm very emotional. It really helps me because, like, stay motivated, because like when I started this, I'm like, there's got to be people like me that just sucking at coding and think that they're stupid or something. It's not that you're not stupid. It's that it's hard and it takes time. And you know, if you stay consistent, if you keep putting in the time, you will also make breakthroughs. I will have to find this video. Like, it was like 5 years ago. I had a friend who would coach me on coding, and I'm sitting there in bed like, and then he'll ask me a question and I will make stuff up and he'll be so polite. He's like, well, Paul, what you're really trying to say is that, and then he'll like, it's totally not what I was saying because I was completely oblivious. I didn't understand things. So eventually you'll get through that phase. Don't give up. Keep coding. If you like what I do on this channel, you want to support it, of course, subscribe to it if it makes sense for you. And definitely smash that like button like it's my birthday every day of the week, or your birthday every day of the week, because I want to promote these videos to more people, just if you find it useful. If not, of course, you know what to do. Anyway, talk to you guys later.